Good morning, beautiful people. A new wave spell. I don't want to start again. I'm super excited, but I am. New wave spell. This one. Oof. White Worldbridger. Something tells me time for a gear shift. Where to start? We're in the White Castle organization, the second castle. A castle is a period of 52 kins or days. We're on kin 66, which means we started 66 days ago. Second wave spell in the organization castle. It's a bit confusing to use this word castle, for me at least, because my mind associates things with castle, which is like, it just doesn't, I'm not grasping these castles because I'm too distracted by the word castle. Interesting. Oh. I mean, the Maya, the system clearly doesn't come out of the German context, but in German, castle translates into a word which also means lock. So actually, I'm going to translate that for myself into German. Then I can build my own bridge, Worldbridger, and remember this as a lock. Like there are 5 locks in a period of 260 days, roughly 9 months. 1 Solkin spin, 1 fractal period of creation. Oh, interesting, I said 13 days is that, but now 20 times since we have 20 seals. And I'm thinking of anyone who doesn't understand the system, like, what are you waffling about? Now I'm just talking to myself. But if it's a lock, 5 locks to open a door, like a treasure chest. I mean, this thing is like totally like a game. Such a cool game. Such a cool game. All right. Okay. So we are on the second arm of 4 of this lock organization. White also means refining. I'm currently realizing I don't have an overview of what is my main. Do I have a main creation in this entire spin? Do I have a main goal? Did I write that down? I don't even know now. But then again, what's my life purpose? It's always the same. That doesn't change. I have a few subcategories though. And then we are in this major astrological transitions. So this year, and which is we're in the middle of this spin now. I mean, just to hold on, breathe, and bridge the worlds, that can be goal enough. Just to ride smoothly through the transition. We're in transition, the earth is in transition, everything's in transition. Everything is always in transition. Yesterday I read about transformation versus transcendence. Now the Worldbridger would have to be transformation, even though it doesn't say so as one of his words, but the blue seals are the transformers. But bridging worlds, now it doesn't have to be transformation. If I fly from here to there. I haven't transformed anything. I've just bridged worlds. But death, it's a pretty serious transformation. Would be interesting to think of death as transcending. But then you had to transcend, you'd have to, yeah, the body transforms and the spirit transcends. But then the spirit always transcends. Okay, tone 1, attract, unify, purpose. Worldbridger, death, equalize, opportunity. Our companion kins, our musketeers, our 3 musketeers, are Skywalker, warrior, eagle. So I'm going to read all these words. Just you can just let them reverberate. Don't think about them. Death, equalize, opportunity. Space, explore, wakefulness. Intelligence, question, fearlessness. Vision, create, mind. My mind says, if I didn't know what I was talking about, I'd be like drawing a blank right now. Okay, let's break it down. Context. What are we surrender? What are we ready to surrender? What are we willing to surrender? What do we have to let go of to become, to be, to achieve? Why am I thinking to myself, it's I could be saying always the same thing. Healing, what do we have to let go to heal? Skywalker, what do we have to let go or be or become to bring heaven to earth? What do we have to let go? Incidentally, the Skywalker is the analog kin today, so we're in a second wave spot, one following the other. It doesn't happen often either. Of the kin and analog kin, they're very close together, and doesn't happen. It must be happening probably in one other place where they immediately follow one after the other. I could bring in concepts like die to yourself, surrender the ego. Now we have to define the ego. Surrender everything we know. I'm going to the highest spiritual cause. You could map this out onto like, how do I make my business flourish? How do I achieve any other goal? But then again, this is a talking sacred calendar. But that's like, why would Tatiana? Death, surrender, equalize, opportunity. To be who we are fully. What does that mean? And what does ego have to do with it? What does any other human on this planet have to do with it? What does the planet have to do with it? What does the galaxy have to do with it? Everything. What is the ego? My thinking of it, my definition. There are different definitions, and they really don't describe the same thing. But any story about myself, I am actually. I mean, I'm back to the Tao. The nameable Tao is not the Tao. Or what was it? The Tao you can name is not the complete Tao, or something like that. The I am is the I am. And maybe it may sound as if, yeah, but you're going too big. You're going too, yeah, but that is who we are. And that is what is expressing wave. We are waves in the ocean, and the wave is the ocean. And the ego can struggle with these. The ego and the mind are very linked. The mind, I mean the conditioned mind. And how they listened to a beautiful clip yesterday speaking about the limitation of language, and I often speak about that myself in terms of it's like we are very much locked into the things we can speak about, the words we have, the concepts we can form. And I get it that words are here's a paradigm shift, here's a world bridger moment, because I was just about to take myself into a miniature prison of words where another part of my mind pipes up and says, hey man, yeah, it's limited, but it forces you into creativity. It forces you to try by all means. I mean, like, not in a way of efforting, but like get the concepts across by shoving the words around in some way. Shake it all up and see what comes out. And release yourself from the world of words. If you can't word it, it doesn't mean you can't experience it. I remember a friend of mine often said to me, if you can't explain a concept to a child, or to anyone for that matter, you haven't understood it. And I'd look at him like, wait a minute. And I understand where that holds. I understand where that would be true. But there are a lot of things we can experience. Worldbridger, don't get lost. Let's talk for a minute. I hear a judgment in my own head because I'm not feeling focused and I'm not feeling inspired. So what can I let go of? My expectation of myself. I know what the stone in my shoe is that I am thinking I'm trying to force matters, and this is my ego. I'm trying to make a shorter, more concise video. I'm thinking you talk too much at times, waffling. And this should be an intention, not an effort. The intention should also not be make it shorter. The intention should just be follow the flow, trust the process. And I may not even know what the process is. Surrender your own will. Surrender your ego, which is afraid of what anybody else might think, what anybody else might say. The minute I listen to myself, if I approve of what I hear, I feel good. And the second I don't, I plunge. Case in point, 2 days ago I was playing Monopoly with my boyfriend, and while the going was good, I was like, yeah, this is a fun game, we can do this. And then one wrong move, and I took the plunge, and I just desperately lost interest in the game. I was so shocked at my own response. I'm admitting, I hate it. It's like, oh my goodness, to observe myself like going into this, like, if I sell you anything, you don't even have to pay me for it. What? If you get 350 from me now, here, take 500, keep the change. Even if I only have 600. Like, fuck this, I don't want to play anymore. Not fun. Not a good attitude. I will say in my defense, that was the first time we played in a super long time. It's not a game I'm used to playing. And it was really late. So at some point, my energy just dropped. So everything came together. But nonetheless. So that's ego. That's to me like so ego. Even in a game, or especially in a game. And for me personally, to see how not in control. We have the wizard in this wave spell on tone 5. 9. Apologies. Solar wizard. Control issues. Kicks me out of my center and stops me from enjoying life if I bring in ego. So, and how does that change? It depends on my intention. When I started the game, I didn't think I wanted to win. It's like I played to have fun. But the minute it's like, oh, fuck, each time I land here, you're gonna get all my. But the thing is that I passed this one street with 5 houses. I mean, like, I passed it many times, and I had my own street with 5 houses. So it's like the income was also coming in. There's no reason to sulk. And in fact, I mean, the funny thing is, and this is something I really have to learn, for some of us, whoever is listening, if you recognize yourself, great. If you don't, then maybe just recognize some other people maybe like that, and you may not understand why some people respond the way they respond. It might help to know that there's some very different perspectives. What was I going to say? Yeah, the most maybe disturbing thing, or something I realized, maybe this I learned in the Skywalker. If my intention is, how do I bring heaven to earth? How am I stabilizing my frequencies? And then it's the smallest things that kick them out. Then I may be in the illusion of being stable, but I'm only stable as long as the going is good. And yeah, I know people who they don't destabilize in their core. They don't destabilize in their essence when challenge comes. They just don't. They might get stressed. They might get, oh, I need to just, like, whatever strategies we have, but they're not. And therein lies a major pathology, if you can call it that. Maybe it's like, I don't know. In psychology, there is a term for it. If someone is, when certain things get out of whack and their core is shaken, their fundamental self is shaken, then you don't have a solid basis in yourself, of yourself. And yeah, I know what that's like. I'm not going to make an I am out of that, because I'm going to, in this wave spell, definitely let go of all I ams. No, I will try by all means not to say I am anything. Let's see how that works out. Become empty, totally empty, and just like don't define myself. Ego is maybe any self-definition that's already ego. So if I define myself as sun, I asked the guy who gave me the reading, I said, can I define myself as yellow sun? He's like, yes, you should. I'm like, what the fuck, what is that? Let's define yourself as everything and nothing. All right, I run with that. But the thing about the game is that and this is also a major flaw in my system, or at least I could world bridge that one for myself also, to get a different definition or a different perspective on what I now just call the flaw, and I see it as a flaw, is that as I was taking the plunge, I felt like I'm never gonna play again. There was like this serious sulk energy coming around. Like, I know this from me, and I'll admit it, because we're here to be human, right? I mean, I am human too, and what do I struggle with most? Blaming humanity. I don't know. Yeah, like, but fortunately the next day I recovered, and a little bit of a glimmer came back, like, let's play again and let's build some muscle. There's a beautiful joke Louis C.K. makes about playing Monopoly with his children, and the smallest one just not being like good at losing, or I don't know, something. I have to listen to it. It's so funny. I felt like that girl. Like, I don't have the muscle to play this game. And we played it some years back with a friend of ours, and when I play, I mean, I play ruthless. I play ruthless, but then like, yeah, I'm not here to play cooperative. I'm not playing Monopoly as a communist. I play it as a capitalist, obviously. I mean, it's fun, right? And she got, at first, she was exactly like me. I had such compassion for her 2 days ago because she played. We all had fun until she started losing, and then so I'm getting wall signals here, like smoke signals. Might have to pause it for a second, and then she accused me of being she was like so shocked. She's like, I didn't know you had it in you. You're like this evil capitalist type of person. I'm like, what? We're playing a game. But yeah, sometimes I spoke about it yesterday, about the ability to see reality clearly. This wave spell, what's not going? Okay, wait, I gotta attend to this. All right, the knocking is upstairs. Anyway, let's get back to, let's leave storytelling country. So we're world bridging. I want to look at the wave spell for a second to do a little bit of foreshadowing. The 4 musketeers we have here, well, the 3, the guide kin today is itself, Worldbridger. They are all present in the wave spell. The eagle, the warrior, and the Skywalker. Skywalker on 8, eagle on 10, and warrior on 11. Second half of the wave spell. Oh, this wave spell is going to be very interesting. I only want to talk about right now the time pulsar, the 4 white kins, the cornerstones of this. And the wave is written like 5 seals down, 5 seals across to the right, 4 seals up, 1 seal to the left. Like it would make a spiral if you continued it. And the white seals are the points where the direction changes, the directional changes. So we're going south, east, north, west, if we look at it directly. If we turn around, we go the other direction. Worldbridger dog wizard mirror. Equalizing opportunity. Love, loyalty at the center. Radiating love and loyalty. Companions of destiny. Guides. Tribe. Loyalty to self. Loyalty to other. Mammalism. Things we do as mammals. Such as making babies. Procreating. Eating. Every life form eats, but like I don't know if every life form enjoys eating so much or can eat. How many life forms eat for pleasure, not only for necessity? Wizard, timeless enchant, receptivity. I've spoken a lot about the wizard. I feel control, the shadow. One of the shadows of the wizard is control issues, having to like do it yourself rather than letting it happen, so to speak, and then the mirror, truth, reflection, order. World bridging. I've asked myself in the last wave spell a lot, or I've come upon this question in myself as to my will or whose will. Like this thing of determination, or determining my path, determining what I do, determining what I want, and a relative amount of confusion that I can sense around that issue occasionally. And I come up with some answer. I think I did even in yesterday's Transcendent Serpent, which turned out to be such an amazing day. And I often have this thing toward evening that I think I have to add a blurb to the day's recording, because there's such relative points transpire during the day, at least for me. I love that. But then it's like, nope, we're not messing with to let go. The answer I came up with in terms of anything I can want has got to be has still got to be ego. What if I let go of everything I want and want nothing? And just be every moment in receptive mode, solar, and this wave spell wizard. There's a sentence, there's a inspirational tapes that I listened to, way when I was 18 or 19. I listened to these tapes on repeat for hundreds of hours, and could talk them backwards. But the guy said, one of the things this tape said about this wanting things, said, why would you want things when you don't realize that what you want is second best, and you don't realize that life has something better in store for you? So you're chasing your own desire and want, and you're missing life's gift that is better than what you can imagine. And that's like, damn. I really want to, I've lived that, I built that bloody factory. But when I lived in South Africa, it was very easy. It was very easy to follow the flow. South Africa is the map. There's a map of the whole world with all the kins mapped across the areas, covering like a grid the earth. Europe is under the yellow sun. Central Europe, whatever Europe, and it's been like South Africa is a Skywalker. Perfect. No wonder. And it's really easy just being in receptive mode over there, because the collective doesn't function on as much ego and as much egoic will as it does over here. In Europe, you have X amount of citizens, and you have X amount of citizens minus 3 egoic, totally strong egoic wills happening. Hence, it is what it is. if I say that only someone who's lived in another kind of society can even relate to what I'm saying. You have to know both to have an understanding of what I'm saying. If you don't, this will make no sense at all. And therein lies the power of experience. Bridging worlds. We have such an influx of different worlds coming into, well, definitely Europe at the moment, for the last couple of years. And that it will cause clash, but it will also cause cross-pollination. I'm very, very, very hopeful for Europe in the next 3 or 4 generations down the line, or even longer, when these different cultures will merge. If you sprinkle just a few, it doesn't do a lot, but if you really bring in a lot, it will do a lot of world bridging. I'm not sure if what I would call a certain purity of, let's say, European cultures will start to dilute. And I'm not, and if it does, I don't know that we need to be worried about that. In fact, it doesn't matter what comes in the future. If we carry the shield in front of us in anticipation of danger, in anticipation of anything negative, things are getting worse. Oh, no. Wherever things go, some get worse, some get better. It doesn't matter. We just got to run with it. And if we're going to hold a shield in front of us, let it be the eagle, let it be the vision of freedom, of flight, of seeds that we can carry anywhere else in this world, that new things can be planted, that this migration is like we're getting new seeds into our ground, and that will be a good thing in the long run. I mean, that's one of the choices we can make. How do we see a thing? Do I look at it as this is good or this is bad? The judgments are judgments, human, yellow human, free will. We can choose our judgments, and it's maybe some wisdom to realize how many judgments are we running that we haven't chosen, and that we maybe wouldn't choose if we could understand that we were just given them through the cultural context or the religious context or whatever paradigm we're living in, and that they can be questioned. The warrior is the antipode today. Yesterday on the serpent, it was the analog. The occult. And this shift of the warrior, this fearlessness, I had a beautiful thought about that yesterday. Wait, it's a bit novel. If you're wanting to, how did it? Maybe it actually had to do with the it's terribly logical that we need to be fearless if we want to advance, if we want to grow, if we want to, this letting go of the ego. The ego was built a lot out of fear, out of not being the pure frequency that we are. It's the ego, in the way it's commonly used, is a distortion in our own original frequency. It's a compensatory mechanism to compensate for something. Letting go of those compensatory mechanisms, letting go of the false identifications of self, letting go of any identification of self, it's the funny thing is, it's scary, I want to say, for the ego, which has been built out of fear. And the ego, which is a protective mechanism, ends up creating more problems for itself that it's trying to avoid than what it's actually ending up avoiding. And I imagine if we're going for a very long life, if we're getting life extension, to a degree, one of the reasons for the short lives is the ego, because it's like wearing a suit, it's like wearing your clothes, it's like wearing an armor that was made for you in childhood. It's like Chinese foot binding. Now the body cannot grow to its full size inside the armor of a 7-year-old or a 3-year-old. And you have to die to let go of that armor. And we can do it, and we are doing it in life, in living, in walking, in now. That is one of the biggest spiritual upgrades, system upgrades. It's a serious, that's a transformation and a transcendence. But it's the transformation has to come before transcendence. We transform and then we transcend. And this is a transformation. This is death. Death is a transformation. It changes the thing into something slightly or majorly different. Where transformation, as I said yesterday, is by definition being fully what it is, and then some, and then becoming more than what one previously was. That's transcendence. And so transcendent serpent yesterday, the transcendent life force, transcending instinct, transcending. I talk about upgrading our instincts. Very important that they work appropriately in this modern day and age. That our brain, it works in coherence. That the communication channels, Worldbridger, it's the communication channels also between the different areas of the brain, and between head and heart and all of that. That's the Worldbridger is absolutely coherent, equalizing, not condemning, not banning, equalizing, equal value, and then knowing what is when needed where. It's all easy to talk, but it's just a path. That's just the direction we're going. So if we are letting go of this armor we built, the self-protection, the nervous system that functions in a certain way, the mental projections, we need the cosmic mirror in this wave spell. We can't transcend or transform ourselves by ourselves very often, because we kind of need that input from outside. We need the reflection. And notice that it's a beautiful thought yesterday about surfing the event horizon, and like how to get so close to it and not be swallowed up by the black hole, but like that thrill, like surfing a wave of being so close. I mean, if all the universe if everything in creation is like pulled magnetically towards the black hole, we get given this idea that the black hole is like it just wants to attract everything and suck it up and eat it up, and then it disappears like a terrible death machine. No, man, it's a love machine. It's like everything is magnetically attracted to it, and it wants to go there. And then that moment of just before the orgasm, that's like, can you surf that? Can you keep yourself in that state of vibration? And just before, that's the art of, I don't know if that's tantric practice, but it's like one of the spiritual practices to not release into the orgasmic release, but just stay just before it, and then surf that. Anyway, that's like the most intense life experience happens just before we die, I'm sure. We should talk NDEs in the Worldbridger. I mean, really, like, okay, but letting go, equalizing, surrendering, getting into our own true frequency, that is not even anything I have to ask myself as a human. Do I have to choose that? Yes, I have the right to choose anything else, and that is good, in as much as an actor can choose any role he wants to play. But he still knows who he is. So through this life and this earth and these bodies and whatever, I can be any wave I choose to be within my jurisdiction of choice. But I'll never not be ocean. I'll never not be who I truly am. I'll never not be the potentials the greater divine has put into me. And it's staggering, or it's like such a feat to have created for the divine, for God, for life itself, call it whatever you'll call it, to have created all that it has created, and then to have created this human thing, like, that can choose to completely forget, to be completely ignorant, to be completely disconnected. But it has to, in order for the connected, which cannot not be connected, because that's just the truth, always being connected. There's like, we're always entangled with everything, that there's no way, apparently, around it. But we can choose another truth. It says, this is all humbug. I am here and the chair is over there, and clearly we're not connected. To have all these realities and all existing simultaneously in the same space-time dimensions, and then not the same space-time dimensions at the same time, these divine paradoxes, how can it not be just pure awe at all times? And to be that, to let go, to surrender, when we die, we remerge into our own greater being. The ego can't understand that, because the ego is exactly that which has separated, that which is not one with all. The ego is exactly that which says, I am this and not that. I am me and not you. In the Maya system, they say, in Lakesh Alakin, I am another yourself. You are me, I am another yourself. Quantum physics tells us there is no separation. At the same time, it tells us nothing ever touches anything. You just gotta love it. I mean, I love the conundrum. It's like Zen. Isn't it in the Zen teachings where the Zen master asks these nonsensical questions, like the sound of one hand clapping? I don't know, that's not a Zen question, but there are these questions to befuddle the mind. And Osho taught like that. He would tell you something and then tell you the opposite, just so that you couldn't grasp onto any concept at all. He gave answers to satisfy the questioning mind, but then he would also say something that would again befuddle the same questioning mind, until the asker, the questioner, realizes we don't need to ask anything. We are ocean. We don't need to understand anything. Just be pure being, pure beingness. We don't have the dragon in this wave spell directly. We have it attached to the mirror, though, the cosmic mirror at the end. We have it attached to the monkey as the antipod, somewhere in the middle, tone 6. And it's attached to the sun, which we also don't have in this wave spell. We have the sun attached to the dog, and tone 5. We have the sun attached to the storm, not in this wave spell. And the only time we meet the sun directly, maybe as a guide somewhere. Oh, that would be interesting. Let me see that actually. Otherwise, as the antipod of the dog. The star is guided by the human is guided by the seed, and the warrior is guided by itself. So very little sun. We are going into death. We are going into that. Maybe we're exploring really deeply what we're not, so that we can let it go. That could be scary to the sense of self. Letting go of a sense of self, it's very important. So maybe the world bridger is like, maybe we could also just totally celebrate the ego, like everything that you are not. Come on, let's have a party. And then let it go. I mean, why do we go to sleep every night? Why do we need the reset of sleep? We have to let that go, because we can't maintain the frequency of what we are not for too long. But it's an interesting exercise. Okay, these are just now waffly words. We're going to, well, explore all these 13 signs in light of death. I can't even use that word, because what on earth would that be? What on earth is death? For me, yellow sun, being, alive, universal fire. I can't understand death as little as I can actually truly not understand darkness. So I'm obsessed by it, because actually if I had a look around, everything I see is not light. You know, the vast dark space of the universe surrounding the spark of the sun. So there's always the paradox. Yin can't understand yin, and it can't understand yang. Because it is yin, so it looks at yang as like, eh? But it cannot see itself either. So how do you figure that one? How to be at peace with all of that? And who would not be at peace with that? I know intimately the not peace with that. So what part of me is that? My ego? Anything that I am not? And how can I know myself but by that which I am not? And how can that which I am not be what I am not when I am all that is? Oh, so we break it down into human components, being human, not cosmic human, not transcendence, or shall we transcend? But the transcendent human is everything that human is. It's not shunning any part of it. So we gotta, I don't even wanna like split hairs or atoms and like ego or not ego or what, or my will or high will. Let thy will be done. But thy will and my will be one. If the divine expresses through me, it also expresses through my ego. It also expresses through my egoic will. It cannot not. So what is this thing? But at the same time, when I look around and I see people, I see the struggle where the I want has become something that is no longer free, something that is no longer connected to the fullness of being, Mother Dragon, where the blue monkey has disconnected. It's the illusion, of course. The monkey is the illusionist. The illusion of separation, the illusion that we're separate from our antipode. And then I want becomes I need and I must have, or I am not enough, or I spoke yesterday about lack consciousness. So what would I have to let go to be one with the fullness? And can I force it? I can't force it. When I'm trying to force that, I actually make it worse. because then it's again ego, then it's again me wanting to be abundant because I'm afraid of my own lack of abundance, and I'm forcing myself into abundance. Like, get it already. Affirm it 100 million times a day. Awareness. But okay, I've talked a long time. The inspiration or the invitation would be, what are we equalizing for 13 days? What can die? What needs to die? What is death even? What is this transformation? We can learn from our body. We can learn from this cosmic serpent we've just had. It dies. The body cells dying happens all the time. That which we call dying. And birth happens all the time. Cells split all the time. Cells reproduce all the time. We reincarnate into our own body all of the time. The parts of us that may have their own consciousness, their own awareness of, I am a cell, I am this cell, please go get away from me. I want to have all the food I can get. I want to kill you over there so I can get bigger and have more space over here. I might have cells like that in my body. I hope not. I need to eat as much and store and store and store because someday there isn't going to be enough. Or I need to protect. Or I need to fight. I need to fight everything because God forbid everything. I can't see who you are, but I'm going to just fight you because you might be an invader and you might be here to hurt me. So I'm going to just fight. I'm going to just protect. But I have no idea what's going on around me because I'm completely blind and I'm not in tune with the cells around me. That happens inside some of us. Absolutely it does. And the mirror of the world shows us the reflection in the outer world. Anyway, if we look into the cosmos, a lot less of that happens. So there's a lot more harmony out there, but out there doesn't have as much free will as we have. So even our own cells can mirror our what would I call that? I don't want to give it a word. I don't want to give it a label, but mirror that state of being. So, where was it coming from? I got lost in the game. This dying process, learning from the serpent. Learning to die means learning to live. I want to make an insert that there are a lot of people who have take up some issue with GMOs. I don't know, at some point we're going to have to look at ourselves and our own genetic manipulation, how we have been manipulated, how we are, what are we expressing, what is our gene expression. And maybe be smart about that. Contentious topic. And I can't really speak about it, not only because it's full of bugs, but I myself have only very, I mean, if I say I have only limited scope of vision into the field, it's like as if I have a full scope of vision into any other field. I don't. But I am not comfortable to talk about it. I am quite comfortable to talk about some other stuff, but not this. So, I wanted to read a quote from, it's 1444, about cells. Here it says, cells make critical, quote-unquote, decisions regarding survival, death, and proliferation by interpreting environmental signals such as nutrients, growth factors, toxins, through complex internal signaling pathways primarily regulated by proteins XYZ. These decisions are essentially molecular switches that determine whether a cell initiates a repair mechanism, undergoes programmed cell death, apoptosis. It's going to be my new favorite term. Wild word bridging, wild word bridging apoptosis. Yes. Or enters the cell cycle for rapid division. Who is deciding the switches. The cell, is the cell intelligent? The warrior, which represents intelligence. Yellow human doesn't represent intelligence. It represents wisdom, though. Go figure. And wisdom comes before intelligence. Intelligence. Wisdom is a different story. Intelligence, fearlessness, questioning, intelligence. And the warrior is attached to Blue Knight, I think. I have to check that up. But definitely Serpent and 3, 4, 5, 6, Death, Worldbridger, today. So this wave spell. So this intelligence that decides what lives and what dies. And then here we come as humans and we are interfering with that divine intelligence that has put us here, that has created all the universes. But anyways, given us free choice. It has given us that. So we get to. Where's the wisdom here? Hello. Okay, wait, shut up. I just find this very interesting, like on a cellular level, this regulation, cell death, proliferation. If cells proliferate profusely out of context, we create problems. If cells attack other cells and kill off other cells, or pretend everything is a threat, or usurp resources that are meant to be shared, the body system is somehow other. That's what we need to actually learn from as a global society, as a global humanity. How does nature do it? Sharing resources, like, we're getting there. And cell death is an absolutely necessary part for survival, as death is an absolutely necessary part for well-being. Not only survival, but well-being. There's a selection, there is a spiritual growth, there's biological evolution. Whatever biology is, our biology is our spirituality. Our biology, to see it as separate, to see the body and this biology as a separate thing from the spirit, it's like, you have a yin and you have a yang, but they are not. They're not the same thing. But they're not either separate. And to really fully grasp that and to really fully be aligned with the intelligence, and we're talking divine intelligence. Yeah, warrior is absolutely the closest kin to Blue Knight. We're talking divine intelligence here. And the Skywalker and the eagle, the creator mind, the divine intelligence, and the Skywalker, the explorer who is awake, wakefulness, not a sleeper in the wherever house, in the greenhouse. It's not a sleeper in the greenhouse. Anyway, we are awake. Are we awake? If we're not, things can easily go on the wrong kind of autopilot. And what's the right kind of autopilot here? I mean, we've interfered, Western civilization has interfered into the natural rhythms of things, and system works enormously, and I think we're bearing the brunt of it. Yeah, so back to the human form. The human form, we're very attached to this identification with the human form. Worldbridger, we could let that go. Enjoy it, but just be a little less attached to it. That's note to self. Okay, Worldbridger, that's now I got my intention for the week, for the wave. To be a lot more playful around my own life, my own existence, my own fears, my own worry about not having enough, or like what would that be? A worry of losing face, that's ego. Losing life, that's whatever that is. Okay, so there's the warrior, fearlessly letting it go and playing and creating. We've just been through the Skywalker, so the Skywalker's present, walking with us this whole wave spell. We're still bringing heaven to earth. We're still doing it. We're still the expression of wave of the ocean. And yeah, something tells me, just don't put this recording out. So there's the fear of the warrior. And I'm just going to be aware of it and let it be there and end this. And go to the dog and the monkey. They are both somehow attached to through the monkey. We're attaching to through the antipode of monkey and dog, which are coming on tone 5 and 6. We're attached to the dragon, and that's trust. That's for another day, not today. Today we'll let go of all my mental gyratics, all let go of my concepts, let go of everything I say. Nothing I say is true. Let go of all concepts of truth. Universal truth is what? The third dimension is somehow universally true. In as much as it seems not to really exist at all, but I mean, it's just beautiful. There are plants, so there's a chair, there's a cup, there's a book, there's a table, there are some dates, there are gadgets, these things I can touch, there's a body, and this body hosts my spirit. Who am I talking? This is, what is talking? What is this? And to use this wave spell to fine-tune the dancing frequencies of shimmering light that make up this quantum field that collapses into these cells and all these little organisms. Some of them are humans, some of them are not, that make up this body and this mouthpiece of the divine. And to understand that to the degree that we can let go of our limitations and our identifications, the amazingness of what's possible is more opportunities of God expressing through you, through me, through us can happen. There's no limit but the ones we set. We set the limitations. We set the limitations. We can lift those limitations. The magician, magic, the monkey and the magician, both magic, enchantment. Never mind whether it's illusion or not. I don't need to propagate it as a truth for everyone else. It might be totally my own illusions which make me run my tap and my truth and my whatever I'm saying here. I'm not propagating a truth. I'm not selling a cause. I'm playing a game, and I'm having fun in playing that game. And in my life, this game playing, not taking everything so seriously, and saying, Spirit, show me what I need to know. I know sometimes with irrefutable clarity what I want. And when that happens, I also know at the same time, this is what life wants to express through me. And I don't need to worry about it happening. And I still do. I'm still learning. I'm growing. I've got my ego attachments. I've got my fear. My warrior is not fully installed in full freedom yet. Or at least I am part of the sort of current software. So I'm experiencing the limitations just like everyone else, of course. But my ego holds a vision of free flight. It holds a vision for my body. It holds a vision for my life force. It holds a vision for my survival. Yeah. It holds a vision for my love force. It holds a vision for my lovability, to give and to receive love. That is the end game. In every way, shape, or form that love can be made, whether it is the way my voice caresses these words, and I can tune into that frequency, and I'm really making love to the words. I don't care what I'm saying. It totally doesn't matter, because I'm making love with it. Sulking, it's making love with me. It's an invitation to love. I don't even want to use the word joy, because my personal experience of love is very often very painful. It's frequently fearful. It's frequently weird. It's not all light and fluffy and blissful. And in some way it's a yin and yang thing that somehow belongs together, and the less resistance I have, the more flow I have. And as I say this, I understand that occasionally resistance is required. So who am I to steer this bloody ship? Like, what the fuck do I know? I know nothing, but the greater field knows everything and doesn't need to know anything, because any collapse of any wave function is interesting. We need control nothing. Just let it happen and be present in the experience, whether it's a good one or a bad one. If it's a bad one, it'll be short, because like, oh, it's like knocking your head into a wall. Oh, like walking into glass. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Something terrible. But something really terrible, like we walk through the world afraid of something really terrible could happen. No, man, that walking through the world that way is the worst thing we can do, because it's going to cause these really terrible things that we're really trying to avoid, because we're really heading for them. Like, it just, or we just stalling. Note to self. Okay, I'm preaching. There's like not making it. It's like I have a sense that it's not possible to speak about this, because we're on either side of a wall, and it can't really have access. We're either yin or yang. We're not really both. If we're both, we get what I'm saying. If we can be in the superposition, understanding we are both, then we get it. If we're not, we're on the one. Like, I know if I'm in that one state, I don't understand the other state. Like, Tatiana, what the fuck are you saying? I know to be collapsed in either of the states. I know that. Then it's like, no, the rest of the world has just disappeared. But that is indeed never a permanent state. And I don't know if I can either stay in the permanent observer. I don't know, whatever. Say, okay, wait, stop. Death, equalize opportunity. We need to die this process now. We need to kill it off so that we can go eat and get on with the day. And there's a lot to be done today. Pity it's not tone 6. Tone 6 is great for organizing. I have so much to organize around the house. But in any case, now here comes resistance. Here comes what I'm doing, like, blah. And this is exactly the wrong attitude to go into this with. I should be like, yeah, I'm going to create clarity, order, organization, equalization, beauty. Where's the yellow star? Please help, yellow star. It's on tone 3, electric in this wave spell. Linking, bonding, service, and powering us up. We don't have a storm in this wave spell to give us a little more, but we're not transforming anything. I'm not transforming the apartment, and I'm not transcending it either. I'm just clearing it up. I'm making the guest room. On Saturday tomorrow we're getting a guest. So that has to be organized. Laundry has to be done. So I gotta eat something, and then it's podcast day. I'm gonna be listening to great stuff all day while I'm organizing this apartment. And tonight I'm massaging customers, clients, customers. The customers are people who buy something to clients. Beautiful, beautiful people who are very beautiful, sensitive souls like we all are. And I get to have a moment of loving their bodies with my hands and with my energy, and just caressing and massaging the muscles and the nervous system, and soothing the pain that has, at least definitely in the one, stored itself into a permanent state. Chronic pain is her life, and cancer has been a part of her life, and there's been, a lot of pain in her life recently, and new things happening. I don't want to talk about them now, but for me, my level of compassion for that is just like, I don't know, I just want to die in my own life to somehow give you life. Like, how can I make it better for you? But not drown in the sense of sorrow and too much. That's like to feel sorry for her. That's not helpful. But to give love from a point of not be feeling guilty that I am healthy when someone else is not. Another one of those core programs that's really Worldbridger, please. Just that one is not helpful at all. Not helpful at all. So, all right, I wish us a beautiful day where we unify, attract, purpose. What is the purpose of the Worldbridger in our lives at large, in our day to day, in our little chunk of time for 13 days? What have we maybe discovered during the last wave spell that blocks our heaven on earth, our joy, our exploring, our freedom, our spaciousness, our dance in life? What has shown itself that wants to be released? What are we holding on to that we don't need to hold on to? What maybe we don't know? Where can we just let go of our fear to ask God for help, or others for help, or insight to come, or release the part of us that believes it knows but just gets up to shit, or release the part of us that is afraid not to know, or afraid not to have, or afraid not to be enough, or good enough, or worthy, or deserving, or whatever the case may be. We give it up. Death is the final, like, when the dying process starts, every human knows, like, okay, it knows it, we know it. That is like very, very, very delicious. I have seen people fight their way into that. They can't surrender, and they cry, and they're scared, and they make that process difficult. In the end, that is a event horizon they can't escape. None of us can. So we get sucked into that, what seems to us like a black hole, and we may be afraid of our own annihilation, but there comes a point where we realize, oh, oh, what? And then we're free. And then the ride is just like, pow. And can we consciously live that already? Or at least know fully, can we install it? Do we want to? To know fully, like, oh man, that is a great moment to come. So, and it comes every day, all the time. We can be in that joyful release at all times if we choose to. And I say that I can take myself into that state, and I do so more and more, and I notice immediately when I'm out, and it's painful. So we're all here learning how to be this transcended, how to transcend humanity, but how to really be human fully with all of these things that we are. And they're not all light. They are also very dark. We are both. We are the best and the worst of ourselves. We are the best and the worst we can be as humans. The potentials in us will always be there. Will we activate the worst? We've done it, we're doing it, we've done it. And we've, whatever we learn from it. So, and if we're still activating it, then we're still learning from it. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. We get to and have to and want to and choose to, and we get to love our lightest and our darkest hours, events, intentions. All right, I have to cut in here. I had to edit some stuff in this one. As I said, I'm not editing, but this one I decided something told me just check it out, and I had the time. I don't like doing that, but today I did, and I commented on something in the current world of the media. I say Hollywood isn't dead. They've just moved over into real life entertainment. It's all real now. It's all real now. Anyhow, suffice it to say that my one comment is, let him who is free of sin be the one to cast the first stone. Yeah. We are all angels on this planet, so there's a lot of stone casting going on right now. So, no further comments, Your Honor. Guilty as not even charged. The other side is charged, of course. We're just charging. Do I have connective issues? Not at all. Worldbridger. Where you have survival instincts and they say, off with his head. Oh, too bad, he's already dead. Okay. So let's get to the emails and implicate everyone else. I mean, it's a brilliant game plan, I must say. It's just set up for a long haul. This is like a very meaty animal in the savannah that got killed by a few strong lionesses. They had their fill, then the carcass got left there, and a lot of vultures can prey on it. A lot of them. So it's happening. We watch it or not. It's entertaining. Entertainment. Okay, I wish us a beautiful day, even if it may be late in the day, but a beautiful wave spell also. I did put that I'm putting that Louis C.K. clip in the comment section, so check it out. On Monopoly, it's great. Nothing like a good laugh. Nothing like a good laugh. You gotta laugh a lot. Laughing is medicine. And laughing keeps us young. Joy keeps us young. Monkey, wizard, human, get up to whatever nonsense and laugh about it. Any case, wish us a beautiful, light-filled wave spell of equalizing opportunity and dying to live. Dying to survive. Oh, beautiful people. I look forward to hearing from you in one channel or the other. My communication channels are open. I am receiving. I thank you very much. And whatever the field is, it's not just the ears and the minds that are listening to this channel. There's a lot more going on here, and we know that. So it's just really a joyful place to be. And it's beautiful to observe the gyrations of Goliath and a few dwarfs, seeming dwarfs, making a plan and taking down this giant until he can no longer move. Isn't being killed at all, he's just being slightly immobilized. And while he can't move, other systems are being set up, and when he gets back to moving, he'll be a little bit cut down to size. Magically. Okay, enough of that. Have a beautiful day.